Hi there, this is Ben Rodriguez, aka Bar One Scorpio, artist on the webcomic Peter is the Wolf at www.peteristhewolf.com. Also Bar One Scorpio on DeviantArt, Fur Affinity, Hentai Foundry, Twitter, and Patreon. And right now I'd like to begin these speed paints with a bit of a dialogue on the actual tools that I used and used to use. What I used to do was draw the originals pages of a series of 11-inch by 14-inch hardcover sketchbooks. I would do these to keep all the pages together in one place so I could readily switch between the current page that I was drawing and the week's previous page, or pages even before that. I would draw in Pentel Click pencil leads in non-photo red or non-photo blue, and I inked them with Staedtler pigment liner felt tip pens. Now, this system worked okay. They weren't too bulky, the books themselves fit into any laptop bag, and I preferred Staedtlers over any other pigment liners, like Microns, for years. Some people use the Sakura Micron series, other people use Copics. I'd found that Staedtlers, the ink dried a little bit quicker, and it wouldn't smudge if you had to go in and erase your pencil lines. Of course, I negated the need to erase guidelines a while back by switching from graphite lead to the non-photo blues and non-photo reds of Pentel brand Click pencil leads. The thing is, I would burn through those $15 4-packs of Staedtlers, especially the .01 and .03 tips, like they were cigarettes in prison. I'd dry out those within weeks, not getting that many pages per pen, and at conventions, forget about it. I'd go through so much ink that I'd kill a new pack nearly every other convention. Or they'd dry, I'd switch pens until the next one dried, then rotate back to the first pen to get out a little bit more ink on that paper. And if I happened to make a mistake and would then cover up that ink mistake with whiteout and go back over it, I could guarantee that taking those pens over whiteout would kill a pen by gumming it up. So I switched to the Rapidograph Koh-i-Noor technical pens. Everybody's seen those things in the art supply store. They're one of the most expensive pens on the market. They're fragile and finicky, and they need to be cleaned regularly. But they lay down the ink like covering fire, can be refilled easily, and the India ink used leaves something akin to as true a black as I can scan. Not that there aren't any difficulties there. They lay down the ink a little too well at times, and the paper in the sketchbooks I used would soak it up and bleed it out like brawny paper towels. So I experimented with Bristol stocks, switching back to the old style of 11x17s that so many comic book artists are familiar with. Now, I really like Canson brand Fanboy paper, series paper. And it's because, unique to any other stock of Bristol I have used, they live up to their guarantee. No bleeding, no feathering. They are designed specifically for brush and tech pen inking, so it won't smear, so you won't ruin your pages if you try to erase your guidelines. And, of course, like I mentioned, they have it in two main sizes, the 9x12, which so many people are used to as their small sketch pads, and the 11x17 comic book size papers with guidelines. And before I switched to that fully, I was burning through some previously existing stock of the well-known Blue Line Pros, and I gotta say, the Canson brand is a cut above the Blue Line Pro stock. To ship these things around now, of course, I tote around a large very obvious 11 by 17 page carrying cases, those portfolio presentation cases that seem to be going cheaply everywhere nowadays too. Well, that's all about I have to say on this subject for now, and I might revisit this in other times, talking about how I format my tables at conventions and how I format my or how I do the webcomic itself. As you can see here, this isn't an actual webcomic page that we're working on. This was the Valentine's Day special image that I worked up for Valentine's Day 2015. It had been a while since I put out a color filler for the book, and I'm really gonna try and get back into doing these things, like the previous Ramblecast episode that was done for the Halloween special one. I really want to do more Halloween stuff. It's my favorite time of year. Even if this mushy season I do kind of sort of like, mainly because there's always some extra gory movies released on the Halloween weekend to try and get the women head up. Oh, this year wasn't it Shades of Grey was the big one? Anyways, thanks guys. I've been Ben Rodriguez, aka Bar1 Scorpio, and remember to look me up on those websites I mentioned. BAR1 Scorpio, SCORPIO, on DeviantArt, for Affinity, Twitter, Hentai Foundry, and of course my Patreon. I'll let the music play out after this.